Breaking, massive details about female YouTube shooter just released that media tried to hide. Never let a good tragedy go to waste, that's the media's motto as first coined by Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of the most deadly city in America, Chicago. They have proven it time after time, and in the case of today's shooting at YouTube, there was no exception to their golden rule. Like most everyone I know, today we were all glued to our TVs, radios, and smartphones when we heard about the active shooter situation at the YouTube headquarters in San Bruno, California, not far from the epicenter of liberal Silicon Valley. But what was even more surprising, or not, is how the media was refusing to give out any information they already had confirmed and what the people who were at the shooting saw. That the shooter was a woman and most said she was wearing some kind of headscarf. The media wanted to keep this quiet, and even the local police. Since San Bruno is about as liberal a city as they come. They didn't want to report the truth because historically mass shooters have always been men and usually white men. The media was ready to start with the bashing. But in this case, there wasn't even any talk about gun control or as to how this woman got the gun in the first place, especially since the shooting was in gun-controlled California where the background check to get a gun includes from what hospital you were born at to what you had for breakfast that morning. More information on the shooting via NBC. American mass shootings tend to follow a grim pattern. A man opens fire on a school or workplace, claiming lives and sowing chaos. But the shooting at YouTube headquarters in California on Tuesday afternoon appeared different in at least one respect. The suspected shooter was a woman. The suspect, who was in her 30s, opened fire on an outdoor dining area at lunchtime, motivated by what authorities believe was a domestic dispute, multiple senior law enforcement officials told NBC News. She died of a gunshot wound. It's uncommon for a mass shooter to be female. There were only 3 cases in the past 3 decades, according to a database compiled by Mother Jones. And research conducted by the New York Police Department found that only 8 of 230 active shooter cases in the United States from 1966 to 2012 involved female attackers. And in the border category of mass killings, including other methods of execution, such as arson, only 6% of perpetrators are women, according to a database compiled by USA Today. It's definitely very rare to see a female shooter, said Sherry Hamby, research professor of psychology at the University of the South in Sewanee, Tennessee. The more extreme the violence, the more likely the perpetrator is to be male. Hamby said research has pointed to a variety of reasons men are more likely to be violent, including a sense of entitlement. When women are violent, there tends to be a connection to a domestic dispute, Hamby said. Mother Jones used a strict set of criteria for their mass shooting database. They looked at incidents in which at least 4 people, not including the shooter, were killed, and that took place in a public place, not a private residence, usually in a single location. Out of 73 incidents that met that criteria, just 3 public mass shootings since 1982, including the San Bernardino attack in 2015, involved a female killer. As of Tuesday afternoon, authorities have not confirmed any deaths in the YouTube shooting, so the suspect would not meet the Mother Jones database's criteria for a mass shooter. Here's a few notable examples of previous female mass shooters. San Bernardino shooting. Tashfeen Malik, 27, and her husband, Said Rizwan Farooq, 28, unleashed a hail of bullets on a conference room at the Inland Regional Center, a state-run facility for people with development disabilities, on December 2, 2015, killing 14 people. The pair were slain about 4 hours later in a shootout with police. Alturas tribal shooting. Sherry Lash Rhodes, 44, former chairwoman of the Cedar-Irville Rancheria tribe, opened fire at the Cedar-Irville Rancheria Tribal Office and Community Center in Alturas, California on February 20, 2014. Among those killed were her brother, her niece, and her nephew. When she ran out of ammunition, she grabbed a butcher knife and stabbed another person. All told, she killed 4 people and wounded 2. The Gullah postal shooting. Jennifer San Marco, 44, a former postal worker, fatally shot a former neighbor in Goleta, California, then drove to the mail processing plant where she used to work on January 30, 2006. She opened fire inside, killing 6 employees before killing herself. The U.S. Postal Service said that San Marco worked for the Postal Service for 6 years, but was given early retirement in June 2003 because of psychological problems. Reports till now point to a domestic dispute where a girlfriend wanted to shoot her boyfriend, but I can't help think how the mainstream media will spin this one. They can't blame the white man, and since the woman is from California, they also can't blame gun background checks. Maybe they will say the woman caught her boyfriend cheating so he deserved it, or that the boyfriend would beat her on a daily basis. The spin possibilities are endless.